Hello everybody, I'm Ricardo Gorski, the founder of tax.one, and today I'm joined by Tasos Loizou, the CEO of Medousa Developers. Tasos is not just a business partner of mine, but actually also a very good friend. In fact, last weekend I had a whiskey and cigar evening in my home, and Tasos was there as well, and we had a very good time. So with that being said, hey Tasos.
Hello Rico, how are you?
I'm very well. What about you?
I'm very well too. Thank you for the interview today. It's really very nice. And also thank you for the invitation last week. We really have a very nice time together.
That is true. So today we are going to talk about the future of the Cyprus real estate market, and it's definitely going to be very interesting. Let's start with you as a person. So you are Tasos and you are very young, right? So tell us how this happened to become a CEO of a very big company at this young age.
Okay, first of all, yes, my name is Tasos Loizou. I am the CEO of Medousa Developers. I'm 24 years old. And of course, the responsibility to be a CEO on a so young age, you can understand that is a huge responsibility. We have a lot of employees here in our company. We have a huge project that we have to manage. But for me, the age doesn't matter. It matters your performance. How do you work and where do you want to go? We are a young team here in the office, of course supported by my father, which is our founder of our company. And we're working everyone 100% every single day.
I absolutely agree with you on that. I had a lot of conversations with people that said that I'm very young in what I'm doing, but I don't think the age matters. It's just a number. What matters is actually how you perform. So I would say in our age, we are actually performing very well. And your father founded the company Medousa Developers. And what year was that?
Yes, Medousa Developers founded back in 2002 by my father, Tasos Loizou, which he's the main responsible for the construction outside of our company. We have plus 20 years experience on the construction. We have completed over 300 projects, and we are really very proud that we're working with international companies and we're building innovative developments, such as, for example, we have built part of the McDonald's here in Cyprus. We're building actually at the moment the Cyprus Park Retirement Village, which will be the first retirement village in Cyprus. And every year we are proud to do something new and to moving forward.
Okay, very interesting, especially the references that you mentioned. And tell me, why do you focus on the Paphos real estate market? What is it that is the reason that you're focusing mainly on Paphos?
My personal opinion, I believe that Paphos will be the future. We can see the difference, we can see the whole Cyprus. And let's take, for example, Limassol. The prices in Limassol have been increased a lot, so we have half a people that they are interesting to find different places to go for living. Paphos tick the boxes. Paphos one really very nice area. We have beautiful beach, nice people. Of course, the nice people is everywhere in Cyprus. But what I really like in Paphos is that we don't have so big traffic. As we can see in the other cities, many people are investing in Cyprus and they're relocating in Cyprus. They want to live in Cyprus and they're choosing Paphos for this reason.
I agree with you. When I first moved to Cyprus in 2018, I actually lived in Limassol. I lived in Limassol for 1 year. But at some point I was craving more nature, more green and more peace and solitude. So I was looking for properties in Paphos and I found beautiful properties here in Paphos. And up until today, 4 years later, I absolutely love it. And I love how you really help this city to grow, become bigger and bigger. When I drive around the city, I see a lot of your banners and everything. And tell me a little bit about the projects that you established in the past few years, as well as the projects that you are currently working on. Where exactly do you focus on and what do you focus on when you're developing new projects?
We're currently having 20 activate projects, including, of course, the project that we have started a few years ago and still on the market. What we really focus on, which areas? We focus on Chloraka, Konya area, Geroskipu, which these areas is so close to all the amenities. It's close to the beach, close to the international schools, it's close to the airport. So the people that they will come to Cyprus, they will, what they're really looking for? They're looking to find places which they can live, they can relocate, and they can understand the city much more easier. They don't preferring to go very far away because they want to be close to the city. So we focus on the areas which is much more close to the infrastructure of the city. In the last year, we was focusing much more on villas, but nowadays we have seen that is a huge market for apartments. So currently we're building both and commercial and residential and apartments and villas. We have all the variety of properties, depends on the case of each client.
When you are starting a new project, what is it that you're focusing on in the property in itself, with the materials? Because as you mentioned earlier, you're not just a developer, but you're also coming from the construction industry. So you do have a lot of experience when it comes to actually constructing and developing the projects. And what is it that you as the Medousa company focus on primarily for your clients?
One of the main differences that we're having in our company, first of all our buildings are energy efficiency, and the villas and the apartments. We're having underfloor heating in all the houses, VRV system. We are eco-friendly, environmental friendly, which is very important nowadays, as you know, with the global warming and etc. We have to respect also our planet. So we're using efficiency materials, high quality standards as well, because obviously you're gonna invest an X amount and you want to live in a property or in a villa which ticks all the boxes and makes you to be happy to live here.
You mentioned a very important point, and that is actually the reason of this interview today, and that is the future of the Cyprus real estate market. I would love to talk a little bit about that because you are in the market for 2 decades already with your father. So what is it that you realize in the past, let's say 5 years, that changed until today? From the client side, from your operational side, but also from the people that live here in Cyprus?
There is a huge difference actually. 5 years ago, the people that they're really interesting to come to Cyprus, it was a people for investment, for the permanent residency. Some of them they stay, some of them just they investing. And of course 5 years ago, we have seen that it was really attractive to build only villas. The most of the people there was interesting for villas. Nowadays, because as you know, Rico, they have changed also the VAT law. So this one for sure will affect the real estate future in Cyprus with the way that they will continue coming in Cyprus to investing, because Cyprus is a really very nice island for investment, but there will not be so huge audience for houses, will be much more for apartments.
Very interesting insight, because when we look at the past years, as you said yourself, a lot of the investors, they bought the properties for other reasons than having the property. Nowadays,
exactly.
I see it myself when I talk to clients. They want to relocate to Cyprus and they want to buy a house that they want to live in themselves. So this is why I think the real estate market with the developers needs to adapt to the needs and wants of the clients. And you cannot just plant any house there with a roof and people will buy it, because they are interested again in other things, but they are actually interested in the houses these days. So this is why you do have to adapt with the materials, with the energy efficiency, with the furniture, with the interior, with the architecture.
It's exactly as you said, Rico. I completely agree with you, because 5 years ago, many clients, as we know, they didn't really want an interest to live here in Cyprus. Nowadays, the clients, they don't just buy a property here. They want to relocate, they bring their families here, they make a new life. It's not anymore buildings which is completely empty. It's a houses with the people inside which really love our island and they're really investing for the better future. And I'm very happy for that, because I can see from my clients that they came and they care about the small details. The smallest detail that you can imagine, they care, and this is really very nice, because these people, they want to relocate here. They love our country, they want to be part of us. And this is amazing.
And I think it's very, very important, because if we take a look at some of the mountains and some of the locations here in Cyprus, up until today, we do see some villas that are beautiful from the outside. But when we take a little look inside, we see that they are empty. There is no real soul inside, because those properties just stand there and they are not even allowed to rent it out. So I think it's beautiful that this kind of stops now, and that from now on all the properties that are being delivered to the client actually are being used, so that Cyprus and Paphos and every other city gets soul, and we get people living here, and we create a culture of people living together and wanting to have a beautiful island lifestyle.
Exactly, and also the government, we don't need the people, they will come to buy once and they will leave the property and they will never come again here. They don't supporting they don't supporting our economy. They don't supporting Cyprus generally. So I'm really happy that this is changing completely. The people buying here, even for residency to completely to relocate or for a holiday home, and they use the houses. It's not like before, and this is very nice.
And with that in mind, what do you think for the next 5 years? So let's say we can teleport ourselves into 2030, somewhere around that time. What do you think we will see in a few years from today?
As I said also before, I don't believe that on the nearly future, the next 5 or 10 years, we're gonna have a lot of villas. Will be much more apartments for many reasons. One of the main reasons why we're gonna change to the apartments is because land, which year per year and year per year is getting much more less. So the good land is already be catching for someone to develop, to make his own apartment or his own house. So for sure in the future, because we're gonna have this issue with the land and with the changes of the VAT, which up to 130 square meter, you will be allowed to apply for the 5% VAT. And if it's from 130 up to 190, you have to pay the difference between 5 to 19% VAT. And I strongly believe that we're going to have much more apartments than villas.
With that in mind, you have a team of about 50 people, something like that, or is it 60?
Actually, we are 60 people internally in our company. But if we include also the subcontractors that we have in our company, we're approximately 100, 150 people that we're working together.
Okay, so you're a big team. And with everything in mind and the shift in the real estate industry in Cyprus, what is it that you actually see as a challenge from the developer side to really make the shift in the Cyprus real estate market to changing to different properties, to more apartments, but also to really provide the best quality products into Cyprus from the developer side?
You can understand that the most important part for us as a developer is every year to having a nice land so we can develop. Of course, you can understand one of the biggest challenges that is the pricing that decreasing because less land make it much more valuable, so it means that is much more expensive. This one will be affect a little bit of the pricing on the future. Some apartments that today for a 2-bedroom is 320,000, let's say for a new bed, maybe on the near future will be a little bit more expensive. Understandable the reasons, less lands, so getting much more, the lands get much more value and will be much more expensive. That is the main, I will say, challenges that we're going to have. And of course, the change that we're having already of the VAT, for sure in the beginning will be a little bit of trouble of the customers to understand the difference between the between the 5% that we're having before with the 19 that they will have to pay if they will purchase on a very nice house.
Correct. Are there still some properties that you're able to sell for the lowered VAT, or is it since this year all of the properties are now being sold with 19%? Because what I've heard is that there are still a few plots left that were registered with the lower VAT. Is that still the case? If someone watches the video and is very fast, that they can be eligible for 5%?
Yes, it's a very good point that you mentioned right now, because we have to mention that the government, they have given us 3 years. So all the projects that we're having at the moment, and we have submit the planning permit before the time frame, which was the last October, you are able to get 5% VAT, but you should do it within 3 years. So we have these 3 years still to selling with a 5% VAT, but any other new property that you would like to have it on the market and you're gonna submit now your planning permit will be with the new criteria of the VAT. It's still a little bit confusing, to be honest, outside of the market, because we didn't work so far. Will be when we will not have any property available on the future, and we will see how it goes.
Yes, this is always the case when there is a new regulation coming from the government, that the first few weeks or months even are still the adaptation phase and people still trying to figure out what is really the new rule. So with that in mind, if someone is interested in investing into Cyprus, relocating here, maybe it makes sense to be acting a little bit more fast than slow.
100%. Now is the time actually. And that's the reason why I'm very positive from the next 5 years will be very activated. Actually, in general, I'm very positive, and I'm sure that even after 5-10 years, the Cyprus economy will be going well and the real estate will be stable.
Oh yes, and this is actually now very, very interesting because Cyprus has a big master plan for the future. So it is not that Cyprus just exists and it happens what happens. No, we actually have a big plan, especially in Paphos, especially in Limassol and also in Larnaca. There are a lot of big investors investing into Cyprus right now. They do have a lot of amazing ideas that they want to create into reality with a lot of money backed. So I do think that if we look from a broad perspective to Cyprus in a few years from now, we may not even recognize the island. The same happened in the last 10 years. If we just take a look at the Limassol skyline, 10 years ago, there was maybe 1 or 2 skyscrapers. Now, I can't even count all of them. It's 15, 20. So with that in mind, each city has its own benefits and each city will develop in its own way. And if we take a look at that, I do think that Cyprus has a bright future. Is there something that you know which has been approved by the government for the next years that will also increase the attractiveness of Cyprus?
We have a plans from the future in Cyprus. We are very positive. I will mainly focus on Paphos, and actually I agree with exactly what you said. Paphos generally is developing everywhere. And in Paphos, and in Limassol, and in Larnaca, we have everywhere very interesting and nice project. It's really very interesting, the foreigners that they came to our island. They create these big companies, which they're giving to the people future opportunities, IT companies. Yes. So we're having people now that they're working in ITs with a very good salaries and they're investing in our island. The same, and foreigners and Cypriots, they're working on such companies, which is really very, very important. Regarding Paphos, we're having currently 2 new universities which are activated. Soon will be approved marina, finger crossed. Everything to go well, and we're gonna have also the new marina in Paphos as well, which according to what I have seen, the Paphos Marina will be one of the biggest, and we are very positive to see the final plans, to get finally the approvals, and to make this project happen. Will change completely the Paphos industry. They will increase the market of the real estate in Paphos, and I'm very positive to see in the nearly future the news. And yes, year after year, Cyprus is changing. If you was here in Cyprus 10 years ago, and you visit in Paphos, it's completely different. Our fantastic mayor, he make amazing changes, very nice roads, very nice, he changed the whole city. And I hope that also if someone new will be on his position, to continue with the same strategy, to make Paphos and Cyprus better.
What you just said, I think a lot of people don't even understand how important it is, because let's just imagine we do have a marina here in Paphos. We are not saying this will happen, but there are ideas and plans for that. So if that actually happens, as well as the infrastructure gets developed and all the suburbs of Paphos are evolving as well, we do have a connection to the rest of the world from Paphos, which is huge. If we do have a commercial shipping industry in Paphos, if we have better connections to the whole island as a whole and better infrastructure and better streets, I think we are not ready for what will happen with Paphos. I mean, we saw a lot of development, but this will really increase the development exponentially.
100%. Really, that's the nice case of this marina. They will change completely the game in Cyprus. Will make Paphos completely one of the most attractive cities, because Paphos, and because of the location of the city, will be a new business hub. That's what I believe. And we can travel, as you said, we can have people come in and they will enjoy our city.
All right, Tasos. So now I have a very interesting question to you, and that is, For investors and people looking to move to Cyprus, looking to relocate to Cyprus, what would you say are the main incentives, the main benefits of coming to Cyprus or investing into Cyprus?
So why to invest in Cyprus? Actually, we have many ways, many why to invest in Cyprus. And first one, in Europe, we are one of the lowest crime level countries in Europe. This is the first one. The second reason why to relocate and why to come to Cyprus is our taxation. If you compare our taxation system with the rest of Europe, we are again one of the lowest countries. And the third reason, which I really love it, no traffic, combination between nice beach and mountains in less than 20 minutes driving. You can have both of them in 20 minutes, which is really very, very nice. These three reasons, I believe, is the most important reasons why to relocate in Cyprus, and of course the weather as well. 300 days, 365 days a year, the 330 we have sunshine and nice weather.
Tasos, I'm laughing because I have to show you the reason why I moved to Cyprus is exactly that. So I'm coming from Germany. Okay, in Germany it's cold. We have probably 300 rainy days in Germany throughout the year.
Wow.
Here in Cyprus it's 300 sunny days, so exactly the opposite. I'm coming from Frankfurt in Germany. You just have to Google Frankfurt and you will only see a lot of crimes happening there and a lot of crazy stories in Frankfurt. And the taxation. I don't have to start about that because I'm the founder of tax.one, so I'm very aware about the tax benefits here in Cyprus, and that is actually one of the reasons why I left Germany, because Cyprus is not a tax haven as a lot of people say. It's not true. There is no 0% tax here. The tax system is only incentivizing investors coming to Cyprus. So there is special tax regimes for investors coming to Cyprus. For example, we do have a corporate tax of 12.5%, and also we do have the non-dom status for foreigners moving to Cyprus, which will exempt them of the special defense tax, which is effectively the dividend tax. So with that combination, people that actually have their own business, so to say, do have a special tax way how they can optimize their taxes. But it's not 0% as a lot of people think. But still, it's beneficial for a lot of them. So I totally agree with you on that. And also the lifestyle. Here, my life in Cyprus, I cannot stop smiling. Every day I go out, I have the beach in front of me, I have the sun. So I totally agree with you on that. And I think for you, it's normal. You grew up in Cyprus. For me, coming here 5 years ago is like a new world opened to me. And one thing I also wanted to mention is because right now it's actually winter, right? So it's February, it's one of the coldest months in Cyprus. And the very interesting thing is there is actually snow in the mountains right now. Mm-hmm. So yes, we can go right now to the beach, use the jet ski, go swim in the water, we drive up the mountains and we can snowboard.
Exactly. And something that I really forget to mention is one more thing, our people. Our people here in Cyprus, they are the best of the best. You can go outside and we can make also an experiment. Take your car outside, go to the road, stop on the side that you need help, and I am 100% sure that at least in less than 10 minutes, someone he will stop and he will ask you if you need any support. You can go everywhere. They can speak English.
Yes.
They speak in English. The 90% of the Cypriots, they speak in English. We learn English on a very young age, so we can communicate with everyone. But the most important that they are friendly. They are friendly and we support everyone. That's the most important, I would say, from our country.
And not only that, they are not just helpful, but also happy with themselves. Coming from Germany, I was born and raised in Germany, mm-hmm. but I also lived in Switzerland for 4 months, and I lived in Bali, Indonesia for 6 months. So I saw different cultures and I saw different mentalities and societies and people mingling together. But here in Cyprus, it's really something different. Just arriving in Cyprus 5 years ago made me feel like I'm home already. The decision to move to Cyprus happened in Cyprus within 2 or 3 days after arriving here. So I know how people can be in their own heads, not caring about anything else and just being in a negative mindset. But here in Cyprus, Of course, we also have negativity everywhere in the world, but the probability that you will see happy people and helpful people and amazing people is much higher in Cyprus, and this reverse engineers your own mentality, makes you happier as well. So everyone just helps each other, and the communities living together are just very positive. And this is also a reason, again, why we have the low crime rate, because there is no one really extremely unhappy with themselves. I also see no homeless people in Cyprus, whereas in Germany, Frankfurt, we go on the streets and you can't.
You don't walk on the night on the street and you feel this danger. We don't have it, and this is also one more point why to relocate here is the safety. Exactly as you said, not homeless. You are free to walk outside in the night, and you don't scare it. All this is supporting what our conversation.
Yes, and talking about people. What kind of clients do you mainly have at the moment? So where are they from? What do they do? Is it families? Is it single people? That's something that I'm curious myself.
Look, actually, I will say that I can't focus only on one country. We are kindly international. We have clients which they are from Russia, Ukraine, Germany, as you. Recently, we have some Chinese clients as well. So I will say that we are a mix of the nationalities here in Cyprus, and especially I would say in Paphos.
Okay, and one more question that I'm curious. Is there a story or something that happened regarding a client, regarding a property that is kind of funny or worth mentioning, something that sticks out?
Actually, during our conversation, I remember now one of my clients that he came in, one client that he came to my office. We were sitting together and we started a conversation about the properties. He mentioned to me, look, I have a breakdown of what I want. I said, please tell me. I want a nice plot, walking distance to the sea, 4-bedroom house with rooftop and blah, 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 a couple other things that he wants. I told him, okay, do you have a budget for the property that you're looking for? He said, yes, maximum 250,000. For a brand new house, you can understand that's a joke. 250,000 nearby the beach with all these extras, it was completely a joke. That is the one case that I remember. And the second one, it was like, it's funny, but on the same time, it's serious. We have a customer that he prepared all his form to apply for the PR. I don't know what exactly goes wrong with his documents, with his lawyer. And then of the day, it was supposed to have 2 people to get the PR. One's get it. The other one completely rejected for mistake on the contract. So guys, please be careful with which people you're working.
That's true, yes. For people that don't know, PR means permanent residency.
Exactly.
So when you invest into a Cyprus property that is worth more than 300,000, you are actually eligible for the permanent residency here in Cyprus, staying in Cyprus, and soon Schengen areas as well, so that you can travel freely within the Schengen area. At the moment, not yet, but they are planning.
We hope in the future. We hope in the future.
And this is very interesting for non-Europeans. And also, you have the option for the citizenship after a few years of living in Cyprus. I think 5 years if you learn Greek, basic Greek, and 7 years without Greek. So that is also interesting if non-Europeans are interested in a European citizenship. Now, Tasos, you actually reminded me of a very interesting and important point, which is quite important for the audience as well, and that is prices. So you mentioned earlier that you had this one client who was looking for his dream home, seafront, everything else for 250,000 euros. But actually you do offer properties at that price range. It's just not a 6-bedroom villa with their own jacuzzi and pool, etc., etc.
Of course, 100%. The case that we discussed before, it was for a property which is a huge property with a completely luxury line, and he was expecting that kind of property with 250,000. Of course, we have a property that they're starting studios from 170. We have a properties of 1 bed 270. We have a variety of a property, so we can support any kind of a customer. And the customer that he's ready to invest 300,000 and above, and the clients, of course, which they have a lower budget and they are not interested only on a big houses, but they are interested on an apartment just to make the new beginning.
What is the biggest project that you did so far? What price range are we talking about? What specifications does this property have?
Let's take, for example, now one of the biggest properties that one of my biggest projects that I'm starting now. It's my project Elite Residence, consisting on 40 villas, just 550 meters from the sea, with 400 square meters of a plot size, an internal area of 180, and our starting price is 750,000.
Okay.
This is for that category of properties. From the other hand, we have also, let's go to the apartments. We have 44 apartments activated now in Lower Yeroskivu with panoramic sea view, easy access to the airport, easy access to the beach, less than 5 minutes driving, and the price is starting for 1 bed 270. We have for 2 bed 320, and the penthouse for 400,000 with your own rooftop and your jacuzzi.
Okay, I think this is actually reasonable.
Exactly.
Very interesting. And the lead properties you have to show me later on. I didn't even see them myself.
It's really it's one of my favorite developments, and I am very positive for the success of this project.
Okay, Tasos, how do you work? So let's say someone is interested in the PR, in their dream villa, or just a small studio for a vacation home, or even as a business. Because we all know that short-term rentals, especially here at the coast, is very, very profitable and very, very interesting for investors. So how do you usually work? How do you help the client to get exactly what he wants, because you're doing off-plan only? So all of the properties, the client can decide and go with you to actually get exactly what they want. How does it work?
Exactly, that is the main benefit actually. For me it's a benefit, because the client that he will invest with us on a new property, the client that he will invest with us on a new property, the nice thing is that we guide the client from A to Z. One of the main benefits that the clients are having is that you don't have to pay the full amount in front. You pay 30% with the signing of the contract of sales, and the rest of the payment is according of the construction stage. So this is the first benefit. The second benefit, you can make your own customization. We support them here in our office with our indoor interior designer to make their own choices. So at the end of the day, we create this customer journey with the clients, and they're building their dream home according to their dreams. So we help them to choose your tiles, make your customization on your kitchen. We can make the bedrooms a little bit bigger if you wish, because it's on this stage, it's off plan. So we can play with the client and we can work with him to deliver him what he wants. And of course, as we already mentioned before, we have many categories of a client. We have a clients that they are interested for their own home. As we said, they are interested even from the smallest details. So these clients, we're working very hard with them so we can make them to achieve their goals. And on the other hand, we have the investors, which we support them to invest their property. We guide them what is the best locations. So on the specific location, they can have an estimate return of investment, and they're investing.
You know, when you talk about all of the things you just mentioned, I know for a fact that you know what you're talking about, because we actually have a client together. He's a PR client coming from an Eastern country, and I'm in the middle. So he's communicating with me. He is also interested in a company structure and in immigration and PR and etc. So we are taking care of all his paperwork while you're taking care of the actual property. And when I'm talking to this client, he's always mentioning your name specifically, because you yourself, as the CEO of the company, take the client by the hands, and he appreciates it so much that he's not just talking to anyone in this office with 60 people, but yes, it is possible to meet Tasos, the CEO of Medousa, to talk to you, to show you what you're interested in. And then, of course, you're delegating it to your team, but you're still there. I see your Instagram stories. Every day you're actually visiting physically the projects. You're in the mountains, then you're in Paphos, you're in the suburbs, and you're actually going there, meeting the team, and taking care that everything is really how it's supposed to be. And I really respect that at this young age. We are quite the same age, and I know what other people in our age are doing. So this is something that is really, really amazing, and again shows that the age is just a number, and that
Exactly.
what really matters is the way how we work.
For me, my clients are really very important, and for me, this label of a CEO and etc. doesn't work here. I love my clients to meet me in person, so they will understand the level of the trust. You meet me, you know me. Yes, I am not just one that is working on the sales. You meet me also in person, so we can discuss together, and I can show you that you are a part of the family. That's how I want all my clients to be. It's a part of one huge family that we want to support them, and they have value. And I respect all my clients with the same way, and believe me, I really love working with my clients. And of course, I will visit my project, and I will be the first one. Whatever will not going well, I will be the person that will fix it by myself.
And again, I can just totally agree with you on that, because there are a lot of people into real estate in Cyprus. Let's leave it like that. We don't talk about other people or businesses, but I met a lot of people, I talked to a lot of people, but with you, I just have a very good gut feeling. And this is why I wanted to invite you here today and to talk to you about your story, about what your opinion is on the Cyprus real estate market, as well as the future. But one important thing is to realize that the future is unpredictable. So all that we just discussed is our opinion, but of course, it can be completely different in a good way. So this is something that I think a lot of people have to find out themselves. They actually need to come to Cyprus, book an Airbnb, book a hotel. You're having commercial properties as well, which is possible to stay temporary here, and then take a look at the island themselves. Actually meet us. We are more than happy to spend the day with you, show you some of the projects, show you the different properties and the benefits of living next to the sea or living in the mountains as you yourself. So as a closing question, I wanted to ask you, what is your role in shaping the future of Cyprus with Medousa? What is it and that you have as a vision for the company?
My vision, of course, is Medousa to be the first choice for property investors in Cyprus, and Medousa will be there to support for the changing of the Cyprus to the good way, and to be there with the others to develop this beautiful island that we have. We're gonna be there with innovative developments, as we mentioned also before, the Cyprus Park Retirement Village. We want always to bring new ideas on our island, so we can make it better. We're gonna be there. That is my promise.
I appreciate your time, Tasos. I really enjoyed the conversation. Everything was completely spontaneous. We just decided to talk to each other as if we were talking by a coffee. Actually, we are drinking a coffee. So thank you very much for watching the video, guys. This is Tasos Loizou.
Thank you very much, Rico. Thank you for coming.
Thank you as well. And I will see you in the next video.